items that I emailed you yesterday. I emailed you all an agenda, an organizational structure, and then job descriptions that I'll explain as we move through the agenda. But I do want to thank, on behalf of Mayor Ramsey English Cantu and the members of the City Council and Art Rodriguez, each of you for participating in last week's kickoff luncheon. The purpose of the luncheon was just to give you a glimpse on what we want to do as we move forward. The big theme of last week's kickoff was collaborative efforts and working with multiple organizations to achieve the economic and regional growth that we want to achieve. We also talked about honing in on your particular talents and skill sets and professional experience. That's going to be very instrumental as we try to put people in places that are going to match their skill set and professional experience. We had a lot of good questions, and we even had something that we took out of that, that I'll explain here in just a minute, that actually added to our organizational structure. As we mentioned, we have the full support of the mayor and city council, but without the support of each of the members, each of the participants that were there, it's going to be we can't do it unless we do this together as a team. So in looking at the organizational structure that we've drafted, it's a basic structure that has a chairman, and the chairman of this committee is going to just be the Eagle Pass Business and Economic Development chairman. Off to the right, you'll see the consultants, which is Janice, Gonzalez, and myself. We will be an instrument that'll be used throughout this organizational structure. And then we report directly to the city manager. As you look below the chairman, there are several committees that will make up the entire economic development initiative, from labor workforce to executive labor mentoring committee chairman. So I want to give a brief description of each one of those, and then there's some bullet points items that I'll also refer to at the bottom of this structure chart. So the Labor Workforce Training Subcommittee Chairman will be in charge of a committee that will work in collaborative efforts with the Workforce Commission, the school district, university, and also the Sul Ross College, and any other group of folks that want to be involved with that committee. Their purpose, it's pretty obvious what they'll be working on. They just want to make sure that the community does all that it can as a collaborative efforts to prepare the workforce for potential industry and business that may want to locate to Eagle Pass. Next to that is the Government Relations Subcommittee and that chairman. That committee will be in charge of working with Janice and I at state and federal level as we lobby our state and federal legislature and also executive branches. We want to make sure that we get their input. People on this committee more than likely will have bureaucracy experience of working in the executive branch or even legislative branch, but we will work together with them to prepare for our annual legislative days to Washington, D.C., and every 2 years at the state capitol. And at the state legislature, and between sessions, we'll focus on hearings that are done for different various committees within the state legislature of the House and the Senate. Next to that is Business and Industry Subcommittee, and that committee will be in charge of a little bit of stuff dealing with foreign relations with maquiladoras across the Rio Grande River, also to help identify potential new business that could relocate to the community, and supporting the efforts of the Small Business Development Center. I know Liz Pena is on board, and early on in the conversation, my commitment to Liz was that we were not going to duplicate services, but support the ongoing initiatives that her and other organizations that focus on small business and business industry. So the folks in this group here will probably include Mr. Perez from the Maverick County Economic Development Corporation, and I know this would probably be a great fit for Liz and her team. Transportation Infrastructure, that's the next committee. We can't do anything without having good infrastructure in place to support industry and business. One of the challenges I think that we have in Eagle Pass is that we've got the 2 federal highways that lead into the community, and they're 1-lane highways each way. So that limits commerce and trade. And so most metro communities have a regional mobility authority. There's 2 examples that I worked with in El Paso and in the Rio Grande Valley. I think this committee here should be focused on improving the highways and state highways and federal highways, and being directly involved with the governor's arm on transportation, which is called Text 21. Janice and I are both members of Text 21 and attend their quarterly meetings. One of the things that we have noticed is that Eagle Pass and several other communities throughout the state do not currently have representation in that committee. But now that we'll form this transportation committee, we'll have a mechanism to do so. The next committee, marketing and the marketing committee, they will be in charge with helping us to promote the community. There's a lot of talent within the community. We met several of the public relations and marketing directors for school district, the university, and the casino, and a few other groups. The bank, financial services had several marketing and outreach people at the kickoff last week. So in this committee, we're going to focus on everything to do with marketing, media relations, making sure that as we develop promotional material to promote the city, flyers, brochures, videos, that this committee is engaged and provides the leadership as we try to market the community. Last week we had one of the guests mention amenities, and certainly we want to track any industry or business. We want to make sure that the executives and the employees of any industry or business that wants to relocate to the community knows about the attractions that we have. This committee also will help us to come up with a game plan and work with the city on identifying those quality of life projects that would attract potential new visitors and residents to the community. So we did add the amenities, visitors, and tourism committee. And then the next one over is the executive labor mentoring and what we call ELM. So the ELM committee is an opportunity for retired executives to mentor other rising executives within the business and industry community. I know there's several retired individuals that showed up to the kickoff luncheon. We do have a spot for them. There's a similar program that the Small Business Administration has called SCORE. And so this will be our version of that. And we're excited to have several people that have already expressed interest in participating in this mentoring program. And one of the other things that I did not list on this organizational structure, but it is our long-term goal, is to work in conjunction with the college and the university to add an intern to support each one of these committees. College interns are very important, or even graduate students who could become fellows. This is an opportunity for them to learn about the community and the business economic development, and also the bureaucracy that exists within government. So again, the long-term goal is to add an intern program, and so I will likely reach out to the university and the college to develop that program. I'm very familiar with working with interns and fellows. In fact, our own firm, EMC Strategy Group, we actually have an intern that works for us every summer. So moving down to those bullet points, I just want to highlight that the City Council and the City Manager will approve all committee members. This is part of our vetting process, and we discussed this last week. They've already been provided the list of attendees that attended last week. So we expect that within this next business week, Art Rodriguez, the City Manager, will be making personal phone calls to invite people to serve on the committee on a certain position. We've asked that everybody agree to serve at least 1-year terms and be active and support all the overall mission and strategy of the committee, and participate in a committee orientation that we'll have in a couple of weeks. The Business Economic Development Government Relations consultants will serve as staff advisors to the committee and report directly to the City Manager. The Business Economic Development Chairman will provide leadership to support the mission and strategy of the committee to support each subcommittee chairman. Subcommittee chairs will provide leadership to their committee and to ensure for the mission and strategy of the Eagle Pass Business Economic Development Initiative. So leadership is the overall theme here, in addition to collaborative efforts. And then the final adoption of this initiative strategy will rest on the City Council and the City Manager under the advisement of the committee chair and Janice and myself as consultants. So we've already gone over the organizational structure of the initiative. This is subject to be flexible and change. We did mention at the kickoff that in order for us to be relevant and keep up with the changing economy, that we had to be flexible. So this structure is subject to change. The subcommittee chairs will serve on the executive committee. So each one of those chairs of each one of those subcommittees will work in conjunction with the overall chairman of the initiative, and they will meet monthly to discuss the initiative progress, challenges, and opportunities. The committee members, we ask that they be active also within each committee. We want them to engage each other and be innovative in their thought process and not be shy about speaking up within their own subcommittee. Each of the subcommittee chairs will meet with their committee members every month at a time to be determined based on their schedule. And the chairman of the initiative will coordinate a monthly executive committee meeting based on everybody's schedule. The orientation that I made reference to will take place on June 15th at 10 a.m. over at the ICT facility. I know that we're moving along pretty quickly on this initiative. That was our commitment from the very beginning, is to maintain a constant sense of urgency. So that's why we're doing the orientation so quickly. We will make this orientation available. If anybody misses that, we can do a one-on-one session. We just want to make sure that everybody gets oriented on their job description and what they're supposed to be doing. So again, that committee orientation is mandatory for everyone. June 15th, 10 a.m. at the ICT facility. The other item that I emailed you all, in addition to the organizational structure and the agenda, was the job descriptions. We wanted to be as thorough as possible, and the purpose behind that is we want to make sure that we set the expectations clear from the very beginning, and that everybody knows what they're getting themselves into. One of the things that we asked was that everybody be active in the committee, and in all fairness to anybody that wants to volunteer, knowing the expectations will help them to become successful. As we work to support every member on the committee, whether the chairman, the subcommittee chairs on the executive committee, and the individual members of each committee, we just want to make sure they have a good experience, so that after they serve their one-year term, if they're so inclined to remain on the committee, that they do so. Or if they choose to leave the committee, at least they had a good experience and are able to help us recruit their replacement. So on the committee chair, I won't read each bullet point just for time purposes, but you do have it. The overall common point on each one of these is that everybody's approved by the City Council and the City Manager. We're asking for leadership for everybody. We're asking that everybody coordinate their communication through the staff advisors, which is Janice and I as the consultants for the initiative. We also want to make sure that everybody is active in their meetings, whether you're on the executive committee as a subcommittee chair, or whether you're a regular member of a committee that serves on a subcommittee. Just be active. There's an opportunity for everybody to recommend people to join this committee. In fact, we're going to run this very much like most nonprofit organizations or chambers of commerce. We will have an annual business meeting at the end of each year, and 90 days prior to the annual business meeting, we're going to ask for recommendations of people that can serve on certain positions within the initiative, whether it is on the executive committee or a member. So again, there will be opportunities for other people to be involved. We're going to have two other major events. One is the annual Business and Economic Development Initiative Gala. This will serve as an opportunity for us to recognize the executive committee and other members of the committee that have been active. Recognition is a very important part of this process. It keeps people engaged, and it's the right thing to do. So as we plan for that, we ask that everybody help support that. We also ask that everybody agree to serve on a committee. So every subcommittee chair should head up their own committee. There can be opportunities for people to serve on multiple committees. Although we ask that people just be careful with their time. We don't want anybody to get burned out, and we know that you all may be serving on other boards and committees within the community, and we don't want to take that from you. So while you have the option to serve on multiple committees, we strongly encourage you to think carefully about that before you overextend yourself. The subcommittee chairman is in charge of their overall subcommittee and provide leadership there. They will work in conjunction with the other executive committee members, but they will be in charge on the theme that's related to their subcommittee. So if it's marketing, they're going to focus on marketing. If it's government relations, they're going to focus on that, or labor and workforce, to really focus and come up with goals that are related to their theme of committee. At the end, we will get the goals from each of the subcommittees and make that part of our overall plan, and we'll have a meeting where we'll formally adopt all those goals. At an orientation, I'll get into more substance and more detailed information about coming up with goals. That's going to be very important as we move forward. It's important to come up with stuff that's attainable, measurable, and realistic. Certainly we can come up with challenging goals, but we want to be very careful about that. We do want ourselves for some success, but we also want to challenge ourselves at the same time. The other thing that I want to highlight is the committee members on the overall committee. We ask that, again, they work with their subcommittee chair. We ask them that they be active and also support the annual business meeting and attend the gala that we're going to have later on in the year. So these, I think, are very simple job descriptions. They're in bullet point format. There's also another role here for the staff advisors, and I'll go over that briefly just so that you understand the role that Janice and I are playing. So we report to the city manager, and we'll present to the city council as directed. We will serve as a support tool for the committee chairman and subcommittee chairman. We are going to prepare a monthly newsletter. In fact, you all will see our second issue of that today. We prepared one last month, and you'll see another one today. So the newsletter is just a form of our transparency and open government, and a way to let everybody know within the community what it is we're doing on behalf of the city and its constituents. We'll also serve as the main point of contacts for the media, but we will coordinate our media responses with the marketing committee once the marketing committee is formed. We will be responsible for preparing the agendas for the subcommittee chairman and the chairman. We will also coordinate quarterly meetings. So each month the subcommittees will meet as a subcommittee, but quarterly we'll meet all together. And every subcommittee chair will be able to present a report similar to what they already do at their executive committee with the overall chairman. But this is an opportunity for all of us to come together and build up some camaraderie and see the other members on the team. Let's see here. We'll also, again, 60 days prior to the annual business meeting, we'll work with the subcommittee chairs and the chairman and present the recommendations for new members of the committee and new executive committee officers 60 days prior to the annual business meeting. We will also serve as the event coordinators for the annual business meeting and as staff advisors for the legislative days in Austin and Washington, D.C., and then also serve as staff advisors to attend approved trade and industry shows to promote the community, to try to attract more business to come to the community. Although we will be attending these trade shows and industry shows, we will work very closely with the other members of the executive committee to come up with an attractive package that can help attract new business to the community. And that is subject to approval of the city council or city manager based on the city's budget. We will also serve as staff advisors and attend key state and federal business and economic development forums, meetings, and workshops and conferences in the state in support of the overall initiative. And then we'll also be in charge of maintaining the dedicated Facebook page that we have that supports the overall business and economic development initiative. If you haven't seen the Facebook page yet, we encourage you to do so. I think we're just a little over 30 likes. A lot of work to do there, but we just launched the page last week. And so I will email you a link today also to that page, and we ask that you like it, share it, and invite people to join it. So again, I've recorded this video. We will make this available online. I will email a link. More than likely it's going to be uploaded on YouTube. It seems to be the easier method to share a video, and then I'll just share with you the link. Again, on behalf of the City Council, the Mayor, and the City Manager, we want to thank each one of you for attending the kickoff or participating in this morning's conference call. It's going to be very important that you all do your very best to attend the committee orientation on June 15th at 10 a.m. at the ICT facility. I will send out multiple reminders. As I did last week, I'm going to apologize in advance for the constant communication. It's just something that we are committed to do to maintain transparency and open government, and we want to make sure that everybody is aware and kept up to date on the things that we're working on. In the interim between now and then, I ask that if you have any specific comments or questions or suggestions, please email me directly. The email is located on the email that I sent you the invitation on, but also the agenda's got my contact information or Janice's information. Communication is going to be very key as we move forward, so we ask that you all not be shy and feel free to reach out to us anytime. If you got an idea during the weekend, we're available then too. So again, on behalf of the City Council, I want to thank everybody for participating, and we're going to conclude this call, and I want to thank you all for joining us and wish you all a great weekend. And if you all have kiddos that are on their last day of school, congratulations to them, and good luck on any graduations that you may be attending. Thank you all very much.